saying that you're about to stream something.
Okay. Ought to be on YouTube somewhere.
Alright, let me just have a look. Sorry, I just need to get a drink. Have we started?
Stream's there, yeah.
Yeah, let me have a look. Okay, where are you?
I've turned the sound off though in the event that so that I can't hear my own voice on it. So I've no idea what the volume's going to be like.
Oh, here we go. Moral King.
Yes.
Okay.
That is the game I am playing.
Ah, and it's all about it and how you play it.
Hope so.
Well, yeah, it should be, shouldn't it?
Shouldn't it? I don't know anything about this game.
Neither do I. I'm going by what you're telling me.
Well, can you hear the audio alright?
Well, no, because then I'd be hearing you twice.
Okay.
As in, I've not unmuted it because I don't want to hear you twice.
Thanks, really, but I do need to know if the audio's working.
Okay, hold on.
You know, OBS being treacherous as it is. We don't like technical difficulties.
Hold on.
I mean, Ollie had some real issues with his game earlier. He was originally going to play KOTOR. Damn shame he couldn't get the chance.
I can hear you. I can't hear a game.
That's because I haven't switched it on yet.
Well, that's what I thought. I like that effect. It looks like something from an old Doctor Who episode.
Yes. So yes, I'm going to be playing Moral King now.
Do it.
If you'd like to invite anyone else to the Skype, I won't complain.
Sure. I'll just try and do that now. Invite. Where are you?
All I can think about now is the number of people who might have difficulty reading this. Welcome to Moral King. Moral King is an interactive movie, which means you can control the protagonist during the movie. Whenever the mouse pointer is visible, you are asked. You have to decide to solve the puzzles and react quickly in some places. The mouse pointer changes as soon as one action is available to another icon that lets you guess what the protagonist is going to do. Can you make it to reach all three endings of the movie? Well, now I know how my own accent sounded there.
You just heard yourself back.
Yes, I did.
Ah.
Also, Avengers oder Deadpool?
Was mit beidem? Erst Avengers, danach Deadpool. Wir waren lange nicht mehr in Kino. Können auch mal ein bisschen genießen, oder?
I admire her taste in movies.
First Avengers after that Deadpool. This is a recent game.
Recent enough, I think 2000...
Okay, so they've both been kidnapped.
No,
just her, and they've just knocked him out.
2017, I think this game came out.
Okay.
Or was it or was it last year? A contradiction was 2017, I'm sure.
Yeah, and I know that, what do you call it? What do you call it? The Avengers... Oh, no, wait, when did Deadpool come out?
Oh, yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, I can't remember when Deadpool came out. Seems like a long time ago, but I don't think it was.
So are you keeping an eye on the comments, or is somebody else going to come on the stream and do that?
I'm keeping an eye on the comments. I've invited a few people, haven't had anyone yet. There's 2 people watching, and I'm gonna bet that both of them are us.
Approaching the castle.
I wonder if Bron's going to get his castle.
Ought to.
Yeah, after everything is done. I mean, he pulled Jamie Lannister out of the water when he was drowning.
He also shot Drogon.
He did. Who, other than the Night King, is the only person who's even been able to put a dent on a dragon.
Although there are some people who've run an algorithm that says that, oh, apparently I've just lost. Shame.
Ah, already? That was quick.
Yes, that knight puts you in
Behind
the
bars.
that knight puts you in the dungeon if you approach him.
I like that you play a lot of these live action games. This is like that Knight's Tale game from the 80s. Do you remember Knight's Tale?
Not that much. Some students have apparently run an algorithm that says that Bronn is actually the one who's most likely to die.
Well, I really hope not, because I like Bronn. But then again, that might be why they kill him off, because I like him.
Yes.
They always feel the likeable, don't they?
Yes, they do. What the hell
I mean,
does it
except for
mean?
Jamie, he wasn't likeable, but they still killed him.
They haven't killed Jamie yet.
Not Jamie, what am I about? Joffrey. Sorry, I got him mixed up with his son.
Entschuldigung? Ah, ein Abenteurer.
Well, illegitimate son.
Seid gegrüßt. Ich bin Walter Walimir.
This would be easier if I did well at French lessons.
Was machst du hier?
Ah, this is the French bit.
This would be easier if I did well at French lessons.
Ich bin immer auf der Suche nach Schätzen.
It's not the teacher's fault. I blame the people who had to share lectures with.
Aber was?
Nur so einen nutzlosen Hinweis gefunden. Naja, ich komme in die Burg eh nicht
Yeah,
rein.
French wasn't a good lesson at my school, but then again, I won't go into how dodgy our French teachers were.
Leider Gottes.
I don't blame the lecturers. I blame class disruptions from other students.
Den Hinweis davon erliegen.
We had
Oh,
one
what, they
guy
just
who
saw
was
it as a bit of a jolly and didn't think it was a real subject, so didn't pay attention and all that.
we had one guy who was refusing to do work on the grounds he couldn't read.
Oh my god. Isn't that really the sort of thing that they sort out in English, though? Like, traditionally.
It's something they
Surely
should.
that should have been caught out by then.
It's something they should have sorted out in primary school. Frankly, I would have had the
Exactly,
whole lot
like,
of them
probably before
suspended.
then, like, where, you know, the parents, you know, surely, you know,
Let's see. The thing away past the guard would be to move when he's not watching.
oh, he's looking about.
Yeah, I didn't get it.
Why is he wearing medieval clothing but everyone else is in a modern day setting?
Yeah, it backfired.
That'd be whack. Oh my god, he's chasing after. No, don't get caught. Oh my god, he's nearly got you in a full Nelson.
I swear to God, his back was turned when I.
Yeah, that was a bit sudden, wasn't it?
Aha! Got it this time.
Okay, you're free and walk around the castle. This looks like it was made on a. Almost said a.
They changed her outfit rather quickly.
Yeah, it's like something from a cartoon, really. Not sure which one, but.
Burg Altendorf ist eine Wasserburg mit heute versandetem Wassergraben und verfügt über den größten erhaltenen Wohnturm zwischen Rhein und Weser. Sie wurde in der zweiten Hälfte des 12. Jahrhunderts im romanischen Stil erbaut.
Oh, it's set in France as well. Okay, that's interesting.
Well, I could have told you that.
Well, yeah, I thought that it was just made by French people.
Yeah, why not go the extra mile and just do the whole thing in France?
Good point. I mean, they probably live in France, so I probably answered my own question there, didn't I?
Near
No, I
as I
asked a question, but you know what I mean.
near as I can tell, more or less everyone who does
Gleichfalls.
lightsaber duel fan-made lightsaber duels live in France.
Ah.
Near as I can tell,
Verstehe ich. Aber
a fair few of them don't speak English.
Well, unless you're going to go to England, you wouldn't, would you?
I think I'll agree to help her.
Yeah, help
Ja.
the medieval lady.
Seb, if you use that word again, I'm gonna have to get medieval on you.
Lady or medieval? I can
Either.
call her a lady, she's a lady.
I don't
That's
really.
an accurate description of what she is, actually.
I don't really care. I'm just looking for an excuse to say I'll get medieval on you.
It's fun to say, isn't it? You know, I'm taking the Pulp Fiction lesson there.
Oh, vielen Dank, mein Junge.
I quite like Pulp Fiction, it's a good movie.
Wohnung. Wird zwar unscheinbar, aber wenn du noch jemanden hilfst,
A rock.
eines Felsens.
You've
A
given
rock?
me a rock. Thank you.
Ach, warte noch.
Yeah, I don't want a rock.
Kunibert hat
DJ.
einen Trank bei mir bestellt. Da du ja sowieso zu hoch bist,
Dankeschön, isn't that German?
Dankeschön, it is. I don't know, maybe it's like how, you know, people in the UK can go nanny. You know, it's...
Could this be that this isn't French? Could it be German?
No, it's definitely French, because hold on, let me have a listen. I haven't listened to their dialogue properly. Because I've just been hearing us. I'm sure they mentioned Rome later, which is in France.
It just shows how much we don't know about this.
Yeah. I'm waiting for him to say something again, because, I mean, honestly, I'm sure...
What
Oh,
was
I
that?
don't know. This is a weird game, isn't it?
Wasn't he supposed to...
Trying to hear what they're saying.
He wasn't there. Peculiar.
Yeah, very.
I do not know what I'm supposed to do.
Yeah, very.
Oh, okay, that's interesting. It turns out that that rock paid off.
Okay, that's interesting.
I don't wanna rock.
It turns out that
DJ.
Do you have any idea how much I hate that song?
How much you hate what?
How much I hate that song by Robbie Williams?
On what grounds? It's alright.
It's crap. That's the grounds.
it's crap. That's the grounds.
Don't turn around. Why are you walking up to him?
He's got a death wish, hasn't he?
Yes, that's right. Infiltrate the castle and walk up to the guard. That's the thing, they're not killing him, they're just imprisoning him.
That's the thing, they're not killing him, they're just imprisoning him.
Well, they'll probably behead him in the morning or something.
They're imprisoning him in prison.
Incarcerated in incarceration.
They're imprisoning him in prison. Incarcerate.
Incarcerated in incarceration.
I don't want incarceration.
Surprised he didn't alert the guard by stumbling there.
Suppose didn't alert the guard by stumbling there.
Während der Fialkran gegen Magenprobleme hilft, kann er leicht in ein einfaches Abführmittel
A
umgewandelt
simple
werden.
laxative?
Dafür wird
Simple
nun
laxative.
That's what it says.
Weird.
Simple laxative?
Yes, you're a few seconds behind me, aren't you?
Yeah, I am.
Yes, you're a few seconds behind me, aren't you?
Yeah, I am. It's a loud whistling sound in the game.
Yes, I believe that's from your Skype.
How would it be?
I don't know.
Well, I've muted it and it's gone.
Huh. Okay, so let's figure out where that whistling has come from.
Well, it's definitely coming from a stream. I don't know how though. I mean, is it any quieter now?
No.
Odd. I don't understand.
Turn the volume back on.
It's gone?
Huh.
Turn the volume back on.
How odd.
Very.
It's gone?
Huh. Volume back on.
How odd.
Okay, now I have a laxative. Super.
It is super to have laxatives, isn't it?
Okay, now I have a laxative.
Well, if you believe Jim Carrey and Dumb and Dumber.
Mal hoffen, dass Kunde genauso dumm ist, wie er aussieht.
Well, if you believe Jim Carrey and Dumb and Dumber.
Remember that bit with the toilet that didn't flush?
Yeah, I do. Do not go in there. Woo!
Remember that bit with the toilet that didn't flush?
Hmm.
Höcker?
I don't know why he bothers looking both sides, the other hints didn't.
Maybe he looks at things from both sides now.
Why bothers looking both sides? The other hints didn't.
Maybe he looks at things from both sides now.
Entschuldigung? Seid ihr Kunibert?
Ich bin Kunibert der Große. Keiner kommt hier vorbei.
Sicher, okay. Die Kräuterhexe vor der Burg hat mir das hier für euch gegeben.
Well,
Wer seid ihr?
Careful, in medieval times toilets didn't flush
War
either.
leichter als gedacht.
yeah, they're definitely French.
Medieval times toilets
Und
didn't
das
flush
sieht
either.
nützlich
Why are
aus.
there modern day binoculars here?
I know, anachronisms are fun.
Is the whistling back?
Yeah.
Where the hell is
I've got a
that
crazy
from?
theory. I'm going to close the window just in case it's something to do with that. I can hear it. It's really annoying. Is it gone now?
Seems so.
I mean, I can still hear it in the game.
Oh, don't tell me you can still hear it in the game.
I'm afraid so.
I don't want this to be ruined.
Well, it's gone now. It's gone now. So we're just gonna have to see what happens. Well, it's gone now. It's gone now. So we're just gonna have to see what happens. Well, it's gone now. It's gone now. Just gonna have to.
Die Anzahl der Wappen an der Wand entspricht sowohl der Stelle
I can still hear
als auch dem
whistling.
Wert.
That might just be me whistling, sorry.
Look back on this. I hope that's not going to be in the video.
I don't know what that sound is. I have no idea. Mute me and see what happens. I hope that's not going to be in the video. I don't know what that sound is. I have no idea. Mute me and see what happens. Has it helped?
Das ist
Has it helped?
No, it doesn't seem to have made a difference.
Oh. Might be coming from your end then.
Of course it is. Why would something good happen?
Oh no, you just need a new microphone.
That's the thing, I'm using the good microphone.
Oh no, you just need a new microphone. That's the thing, I'm using the good microphone. When did you get it, anyway?
I don't know. It's quite old. Well, it's for my PS4, isn't it? Just gonna try something.
Just gonna try something. Okay. I can't hear it anymore after you said I'm just gonna try. Oh. Just gonna try something. Okay. I can't hear it anymore after you said I'm just gonna try. Oh.
Where's this coming from?
Okay. I have no idea.
I'm gonna turn the Skype chat off, see if that makes a difference.
Yeah, just in case.
Sorry about this, everyone.
Okay. It went away straight away, didn't it?
Seemed that way.
Oh no, maybe my microphone's broken then, but I don't want it to, especially since I'm doing T-series at the moment. Oh no, maybe my microphone's broken then, but I don't want it to, especially since I'm doing T-series at the moment. Oh no, maybe my microphone's broken then. Have you seen that, by the way?
I do believe I've just been caught.
Oh, in the game? Bloody night.
es bringst, kannst du vorbei. Das ist nicht die richtige Frage. Wenn du die richtige Frage kennst, dann wirst du auch darauf kommen, was ich verlange. Also schau hier ein bisschen um und vielleicht findest du den einen oder anderen Weg.
Ich könnte dir diesen Schatz geben.
So what do you reckon of the game so far, anyway?
It's
Also ich
interesting.
würde jetzt ja eigentlich sagen...
Looks interesting.
I do find FMV games fascinating.
Aber ich bin ein moralisches Schwein, also gib die Kiste her.
Okay, am I still heard right? Because I just changed my microphone.
Yeah, I can hear you just fine.
Das war's dann, Schatz.
Okay. Seems I'm gonna have to fight.
Sad, but that's just the way
With a-
things are.
With a club.
I mean, like a nightclub.
Oh, come on.
Why, what's happened?
Oh, he's clumsy, isn't he? Could have killed me there. Oh, okay, now I'm dead.
Well, that's annoying.
What happens if I don't reach for the weapon I wonder?
Well, there's only one way to find out, isn't there?
I thought he might be merciful.
Nah, I think it's just being Ming the Merciless, isn't he?
Seems so.
This makes me think of Ming Campbell, Ming the Merciless.
Too slow. I've got to admit, I've seen better fights.
Like where, for example?
Well, there was Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat! Sorry, did I hurt your ears?
No?
Alles okay bei dir? Ich wusste, dass du nicht retten kannst.
Ugh.
That's a very French soundy man.
Ich brauche erstmal ein Bier.
Ich auch.
Okay, life and death adventure, and all you want to do is get a beer.
Why not? Gotta have, it's like James Bond, really, isn't it?
No, it isn't.
Except with martinis instead.
I do believe the object of this game, though, is to find all the endings. So, I think I shall make that effort with what time we still have. How much time have we been streaming for?
Let me check. It's not saying.
Yes, it
Only,
is.
only how long?
Half an hour.
Yeah, I was going to say it felt like half an hour.
Also, Avengers oder Deadpool?
Irgendwas mit beidem.
Hopefully without that
Erst
whistling
Avengers, danach
sound.
Deadpool. Wir waren lange nicht
Yeah, it's gone now. I haven't heard it for a while.
Hey!
A real thirst on me. But yeah, looks like you're enjoying the game anyway.
I don't know if enjoying is the right word. I think I'm intrigued.
Yeah, the game's giving you an intriguement.
Yeah.
It's doing you a fascination, as I think the phrase goes.
Entschuldigung,
Ah, ein Abenteurer.
bitte?
Seid gegrüßt. Ich bin Walter Walimir. Wie kann ich euch behilflich sein?
Was machst du hier?
Schatzsucher. Um es genau zu sagen. Ich bin immer auf der Suche nach Schätzen. Dieses Mal dachte ich echt, ich hätte einen.
Aber was?
Ich habe nur so einen nutzlosen Hinweis gefunden. Den habe ich da drüben hingelegt. Naja, ich komme in die Burg eh nicht rein. Die ist viel zu gut bewacht.
Scheint bewacht zu sein.
Leider Gottes. Rein kommt man da nicht so leicht. Ich habe den Hinweis da vorne liegen lassen. Vielleicht hast du ja mehr Glück. Ich bezweifle es zwar, aber viel Glück.
I think I've just made a mistake.
Yeah, you're talking to the guy. What's the mistake that you think you've made?
I think I was supposed to do that without the
Avengers
hint.
oder Deadpool?
Das mit beidem.
That's
Erst
annoying.
Avengers, danach Deadpool.
Good news is I know the combination lock anyway,
Well, that's good.
because I just did it.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll run off with the treasure this time.
Well, wouldn't that be something? I think we could all use some treasure to run off with.
Ah, ein Abenteurer.
Bitte?
Seid gegrüßt. Ich bin Walter Walimir. Wie kann ich euch behilflich sein?
I'm only human, after all.
Sucher. Schatzsucher. Um es genau zu sagen. Ich bin immer auf der Suche nach Schätzen. Dieses Mal dachte ich echt, ich hätte einen.
Aber was?
Ich habe nur so einen nutzlosen Hinweis gefunden. Den habe ich da drüben hingelegt. Naja, ich komme in die Burg eh nicht rein. Die ist viel zu gut bewacht.
Scheint bewacht zu sein.
Leider Gottes. Rein kommt man da nicht so leicht. Ich habe den Hinweis da vorne liegen lassen. Vielleicht hast du ja mehr Glück. Ich bezweifle es zwar, aber viel Glück.
I'm going to try this without the hints.
Okay, well, let's see if you can figure it out yourself.
Maybe there'll be an achievement for it.
Oh, there should be.
Good, I've missed it.
Hilf mir! Hilfe! Hilfe!
Ja.
It's not much of a movie though if I skip most of it, but the thing is I've already seen it, haven't I?
Yeah. Yeah, I suppose there's no spoiler alerts or anything like that.
This is going to be one short stream. I'm almost glad no one turned up to watch it.
Well, some people might enjoy it on the rebound.
Oh, for God's sake, he walked away.
I know. I mean, that's just tragic.
Okay, I believe I found the.
Yeah.
I think I found the treasure around here.
Hmm. It does look like it's onto something, doesn't it? Got to be said.
What do you think about the game?
It looks fun. It looks like one of those gimmicky games, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. I mean, looks quite fun to me.
I already got the alchemy achievement. Thank you.
Well, it's good of them to think of you, though.
Höcker?
Don't think I wanted to do that.
No. I should not have said that.
Mind you, it might have been the only way to carry on.
True. Might have been what the game was intending for you to do.
Well, let's drug the guard, as it were.
Sounds like a euphemism.
Probably was made to sound like a
Entschuldigung?
euphemism when in fact it
Seid
isn't.
ihr Kunibert?
You were using the old comedicness on us.
Sicher, okay. Die Kräuterhexe vor der Burg hat mir das hier für euch gegeben.
Eine Kräuterhexe. Wer seid ihr? Oh,
No one gets past.
Das war leichter als gedacht.
They shall not pass!
Und das sieht
Shall I?
nützlich aus.
Or in this case, it's you shall not. Oh God, what did I just drink?
Huh. They shall not pass out. Wasn't that from Lord Rebo where or was it Team 4 Star or was it Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged where he says, "You shall not pass, or maybe you shall."
Das ist wahrscheinlich das schlechteste Versteck, das ich
I
can't
agree,
remember.
not the best hiding place in the world.
Definitely not. It's just a place, isn't it?
Holy shit.
Language.
Doesn't say anything.
It was in.
Oh, did you say mad?
No. I think I'm gonna go off with the treasure. Bye.
Yeah. You're going on a treasure hunt.
I already got the treasure. I'm just leaving my girlfriend to die.
Sounds like something from Pirates of the Caribbean.
I'm glad I didn't get to see her face though.
Why, was she ugly or?
No, I'm glad I didn't get to see the look of heartbreak on her face.
Oh, I see.
Oh, that's odd. Why is it only showing me the French symbol?
I don't know, maybe they're learning the drums.
Also,
Sorry, that was an awful
oder Deadpool?
joke.
Well, they gave me,
Das mit
given me
beidem.
English subtitles
Erst
anyway.
Avengers, danach Deadpool.
I believe this is the third and final playthrough.
It's the final playthrough. They're playing together.
Entschuldigung.
ein Abenteurer. Bitte? Seid gegrüßt. Ich bin Balta Valimir. Wie kann ich euch behilflich sein?
Was machst du hier?
Sucher. Schatzsucher. Um es genau zu sagen. Ich bin immer auf der Suche nach Schätzen. Dieses Mal dachte ich echt, ich hätte einen.
Also you're not a treasure hunter because you've
Aber
never
was?
gotten one.
Ich habe einen nutzlosen Hinweis gefunden.
Ah,
Den hab
Well,
ich
that's
wohl hingelegt.
disappointing.
Naja, ich komme in die Burg eh nicht rein.
I mean, do you have to actually
Die ist
find
viel zu gut bewacht.
treasure in one instance to be a legitimate treasure hunter? That's one thing I've always wondered.
Leider Gottes.
I suppose if you know
Reinkommt
how
man da
to
nicht so
hunt
leicht.
for one, then that makes
Ich
you a
habe den
treasure
Hinweis da
hunter.
vorne liegen lassen.
Yeah,
Vielleicht hast du ja mehr
it's
Glück.
like in National Treasure, were they treasure hunters when they found the treasure, or were they treasure hunters before because they knew how to hunt for the treasure?
I suppose though you'd have to be able to.
Have you ever seen that movie?
No.
Oh, it's a really good movie. You'd love it.
I suppose you.
I actually do think you'd really like it.
I suppose it'd be useful to have treasure so that you know you can. So that other people know it as well, so that people could probably employ you as a treasure hunter, perhaps.
Yeah, you know, like treasure hunter for hire. Yeah, that'd be awesome. If you could find any, like, historical treasure, what would you find?
I don't think I'd find any of them because I'm not a treasure hunter.
Yeah, but I mean, if you were, you know, just for the sake of argument, like, what historical item interests you the most? Like, would it be the Holy Grail, or, you know, would it be something different, Ark of the Covenant, maybe?
Vielen Dank, mein
I don't know.
Hier der Korb. Pflück mir einfach ein paar Möhren und dann belohne ich dich.
Excalibur might be nice.
That would be good. Good choice, Jack.
What about you?
Oh, it's hard to beat Excalibur, isn't it, really? Yeah, I mean, can't go wrong with, you know, like an ancient legendary sword, can you? Sure you can if it was like cursed or something, but, you know, for the sake of argument, it isn't.
I don't like the music in this game.
I've not really been listening to it because I've had to mute it because it's just too distracting hearing myself back, to be honest.
So you don't know whether I'm being heard properly through this microphone?
Well, let me turn it up for a second.
So you don't know whether...
Yeah, I hear you and I hear in-game sound.
That's good.
Well, let me turn it up for a second. So you've got nothing to worry about.
Yeah, I hear you
and I hear in-game sound. Let me check. Well, let me turn it up for a second. So no. Nothing to worry about. Yeah, I hear you.
Can't say I'm surprised.
Well, I did let people know you were streaming.
Yeah, it's just I think this game's a little bit, you know...
Während der
Niche.
Finalplan gegen Magenprobleme hilft, kann er
Probably,
leichter
but then again, all I
Einfluss
do is play
umgewandelt
niche
werden.
games. And I hardly get any views.
Indeed.
Okay, I answered my own question there.
I think this is a bit of a short one.
Yeah.
Although
Well, short and sweet.
I've got to say, that fellow really can't be that much of a treasure hunter, given the fact the subtle clues leading to the treasure are bits and pieces of paper that somebody has written down on and just left idly, and the treasure itself is left idly someplace else.
Yeah, they've not exactly, you know, shown themselves glory, have they?
Höcker?
I think I may try to get the treasure and my girlfriend in this one.
It'd be good if you could get both, wouldn't it? You know, so you're not open to that old trope of the girl or the prize. You know, so that's a bit of an overused trope.
Ich bin Kunibert der Große. Keiner kommt hier vorbei.
Do you know who I am?
Sicher,
Do you have
okay.
any idea how
I'm
many
the Juggernaut.
anonymous
Vor der Burg hat
guards I've killed
mir das
over
hier
the
vielleicht gegeben.
years? And look at you, you've been asleep. You got no chance. Why'd you just fall down? Go on, son.
Wer seid ihr? Oh.
Das war leichter als gedacht. Und das sieht nützlich aus.
Also, I have to solve the guy's riddle if I don't want to bribe him with the treasure.
Oh yeah, if you don't want to riddle in that.
We're still on for Resort World.
Das ist
When were we planning on going?
Well,
Because we didn't make any concrete plans, did we?
No, we didn't. Apparently, it comes out on the 24th of this month.
Yeah, I made very loose plans to see it with Ollie, although he hasn't bought tickets and neither have I.
No, neither have I. But are we
And I feel
going-
like that would have been the sensible thing to do, but none of us did it, so hey ho, that's
but are
where we are.
going to Resort World to watch it, that is.
I wouldn't mind resorting to it.
Shit.
Language.
I didn't swear.
I was talking to him.
Oh, what is he saying? Like shit, like that?
Yes.
Oh, well, exactly. I got it right.
Aber du dachtest wohl, du könntest mich überlisten, was? Aber nicht schlecht, dass du
Yeah.
bist. Das schafft nicht jeder.
They can say mad because they're French.
Was? Eigentlich soll ich dich jetzt direkt festnehmen. Aber ich muss sagen, so viel Mut und Taktik muss schon belohnt werden. Ich verlange etwas, damit du passieren darfst. Und wenn du mir das bringst, kannst du vorbei. Das ist nicht die richtige Frage. Wenn du die richtige Frage kennst, dann wirst du heute auch kommen, was ich verlange. Also schau dich ein bisschen um und vielleicht findest du den einen oder anderen Hinweis.
Wer es
The one
gibt,
who
ist
spends
hart wie
it
Stein.
is as hard as
Wer es
stone.
liebt,
The one that loves it wants to be alone.
Someone who buys porn.
And now I need to read that again so that I can think about
Could
it.
that be the riddle?
wer es gibt, ist
The
hart
one
wie
that
Stein.
loves it will be alone.
Wer es liebt,
Um.
bleibt allein.
Oh, that actually sounds quite sad, really.
Wer
The
es
one who
wagt,
dares
hat
it
keinen
isn't
Mut.
really brave.
Wem es
The one
fehlt,
who lacks it will
es
feel
gut.
really great.
Courage.
The one who lacks courage would feel really great.
I don't know, because he'd never be in a position where he'd have to do anything dangerous. So, that might be
wer
it.
es besitzt,
The one
ist
who owns
bettelarm,
it is very poor. The
Wem's
one who
gelingt,
manages to achieve
er
it
ist voll Scham.
is full of shame for sure.
A venereal disease.
I don't think so, Sam.
Yeah, but it works. It works.
I doubt it. Let me see this other first one.
Wer es
The one who
gibt,
spends it is as
ist hart
hard
wie
as
Stein.
stone. The one who
Yeah.
loves it will be
Pornography.
der bleibt allein.
Pornography. I was buying pornography.
I'm not going to put that in the answers. I hope you're aware of that.
It'd be funny if you did.
No. would it be?
Du sagst ja gar nichts.
Love.
Oh, I think you just gave me the answer.
Oh, love! It was love. Okay. Yeah, but rich people can be in love as well. You know, it's.
Aber ich hätte dir doch eine Aufgabe
He
gestellt,
said,
die du lösen sollst.
you know, the one who has it is poor.
Aber ich habe jetzt sowieso Feierabend. Weißt du was, geh nach oben, hier sind Geschenke.
Okay, it doesn't matter whether it's the right answer or not. Thanks
Was
for
it love?
Thanks for nothing, you twit.
Me?
No, him.
Oh, why did he get it wrong?
I don't know now. He just buggered off.
How rude.
Oh, this fellow's slow.
Something bad said, not good.
Got it. What did I do with the treasure?
Alles okay bei dir?
I don't know what you did with the treasure.
Dass du mich retten
Good
kannst.
question.
Ich brauche erstmal ein Bier.
Ich auch.
Oh, warte einen Moment. Du wirst nicht glauben, was ich gefunden habe.
Oh, okay. So I still
Okay.
found the treasure.
You did.
Yes.
That's good.
Oh, she doesn't look too happy about that.
About what? Oh, man.
Thanks. All my hard work and saving your life.
It's like a Mario game, isn't it?
Bitch. Well, now I feel a bit better about that second playthrough.
Well, as you should, as you should.
Well, I believe that was the only three outcomes of this game, so... Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what did you think of that then, Seb?
Well, that was a little bit different, wasn't it? It was quite fun and gimmicky. Just expressing an opinion there, but yeah, it was pretty decent.
For the record, though, I think I got the riddle right.
Yeah, I think you did as well. I think it was love.
I typed nothing.
Well, it's sad, we'll never know. But, well, I suppose you can play it again, but, you know, I think it's one of those with a limited scope for playthroughs, wouldn't you agree?
Probably.
Yeah.
Oh well, I guess I can be glad I got it out of the way then.
Yeah, well, that was a fun little stream we just did,
Hmm.
in my view.
I don't know if I could recommend it to anyone though.
Yeah, I suppose it's one of those things where you do it once and that's that.
Unfortunately, it is on Steam, so I can't really return it for a refund. If I decided not to like it.
Well, surely you either dislike it or you don't dislike it.
I might try some Sherlock Holmes next time.
That'd be fun.
Already
Yeah,
bought
home-
a collection, so to speak.
I can just imagine you General Grievous style adding it to your collection.
No.
Will make a fine addition to your collection.
Well, I've added it to the library. I'm changing it just to avoid that.
A fine addition to your library.
Should I do it now or what?
Do it now.
You want me to do it now?
Do it. You can do it.
Well, yeah, I mean, I could do one story now.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Why not? I'd be interested to know what castle that was. Like if the princess was in another one.
She wasn't a princess. She was some stupid bitch who took my money.
Ah, she took your money.
Yeah.
Yeah, I ain't saying she's a gold digger. I'm not going to finish those lyrics.
No, don't.
No, I definitely won't. I don't want to get into hot water over this game. I'm not saying it's bad, I'm just saying it's not worth getting in hot water over.
Well, if I'm going to do this, I'll feel a bit bad that some people missed it.
Oh, well, you know, if there's nothing stopping you doing some repeat business.
Why don't you try inviting people to the Skype chat?
I can give it another try. Hold on. Let me just...
I'm just going to update the title on this.
Michael Blower of House Blower, and
Michael
where
Blower
is
of
Shipway?
House Blower.
Yeah. Get him on the old blower.
Oh, Ollie Johnson has just joined.
Oh. Hello, Ollie.
Hello, Ollie. You're just in time. Ollie?
Ollie, you there?
What am I just in time for?
Elementary, my dear Johnson. Elementary.
Dear Johnson. Make it sound like you're talking about your knob.
No, it doesn't. It's just that Seb will like do any amount of gymnastics to turn anything into a euphemism.
Gymnastics.
That is correct.
Gymnastics.
I was just looking back over the stream we did earlier, the Star Wars one.
That was a good one, wasn't it?
Yes.
I don't know if you have a different sort of revisionist idea of how it went, but I thought it went well.
Same.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty chuffed about that. That was a fun thing to be a part of.
Yes.
Really nice.
Too bad Knights of the Old Republic didn't work as intended.
But Republic Knights.
At least we managed to salvage the stream eventually.
Yeah, I'll say. I thought it turned out pretty damn good.
Yeah. Perhaps for a foray into Twitch, I could stream the Fellowship of the Ring PS2 game.
I think that'd be good.
Perhaps you could.
I've not played it since like 2002, so it's like it's gonna be.
Back when EA games were good. Remember that?
I do.
Forever ago.
Well, it was before they discovered that you could monetize games to hell. Anyway, dude.
So basically, it's like Saruman pre and being bad. What?
Yeah, I'm gonna hang up for a bit. I've got to record the audio for tomorrow's countdown vid.
Oh, awesome! Yeah, we're getting pretty close, aren't we?
Yeah.
I'm surprised it's taken us this long to get to second episode of Game of Thrones.
Sorry?
While we're talking about episode, I've just thought about that.
It's only coming out tomorrow, isn't it?
I mean, I had planned to recap all of the seasons of Game of Thrones in time, but frankly, the Marvel countdown videos are easier to make.
Yeah, and I think they're quite fun. I like them anyway.
Yeah. Right, so I shall return soon. Who's streaming? Whose channel do I go to?
Mine.
Jack's.
I see.
I've streamed one game, now I'm moving on to this one.
It's time to stream the game.
William Shatner singing.
That was gold, though.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't. It was awful, but it was really funny because it was awful.
I just keep thinking back to that moment in The Simpsons where he says, "I have here the only working phaser ever built. It was fired only once to prevent William Shatner from making another album."
Never gets old, does
The
it?
thing is, I could see George Takei doing that. I could just see him
I'm
going
gonna
up to
hang up. I shall return.
One day, he shall come back.
Yes, I
Yes,
shall
he
come back.
I hope you'll come back soon. I would be interested to hear your opinion of this game.
Yes. The case of the mummy's curse. Right, see you
Well, is
soon.
that just about his mother being cursed?
I believe it refers to a mummified carcass, actually, so who really knows?
Mummy.
Bye.
Oh, mummy.
Ah.
Bye. Oh, that's fun.
Yes. The thing is, I could see George Takei going up to Shatner and saying, in the studio while he's making his album, and Takei just says, "Bill, I want you to know, this has nothing to do with what goes on between us. This is simply a case of preventing further madness."
That is very Takei, isn't it? Takei or not Takei?
I can't see Lemon Nemo doing it, God rest him.
No, he's just too nice, isn't he? Yeah, he is quite nice. That was a bit of a yawn there.
For some reason I can't get this full screen. Maybe I can, perhaps. Let's try an introduction.
London is not a beautiful city. Under the soot that covers its buildings is a teeming mass of 4 million souls trying to survive.
Is that Mr. Rogers?
Mostly off of each other.
No idea.
You see it in the paper every day. Thankfully, we have the London Times to keep us informed of all these troubling activities with an unbiased eye and razor-sharp accuracy. We find this publication to be of invaluable assistance in our investigations, and I'm sure you will as well. Among the forces of evil which run rampant in this city, there are also, thankfully, 2 groups of individuals who will aid us in our cause. As we do, they attempt to right wrongs and restore harmony and civility to the streets of London. The first of these groups is a ragtag association of young ruffians. I call them the Baker Street Irregulars. Don't let them fool you. They may be scruffy and ill-bred, but they are on the right side of the law. They can go everywhere, see everything, and overhear everyone. They are my eyes and ears in the streets of London, unquestionably a tremendous asset in our work. They will help us in our investigations if they can. The other group is a far more civilized collection of gentlemen and institutions. I call them the Baker
He
Street
looks wholesome,
Regulars.
if that makes sense.
They, too, will be extremely
He's got a very
useful in
wholesome
our
look
work.
about him.
At the start of any investigation, do keep in mind that it is a capital mistake to theorize before one has data. Unwittingly, one begins to twist facts to suit theories instead of theories to suit facts. The people and places to whom I will now introduce you will help us to collect the facts. May we use them wisely. Come, the game's afoot.
The game is afoot.
No, it isn't. It's a game. Was that a grunt in frustration at my joke?
Very much so. Also,
I
trying to think
thought it was.
trying to think about how I can make this go full screen.
Be nice, wouldn't it?
Yes. Let's try then. About the regulars.
You are nothing but a regular.
This is... Mr. Henry Ellis is the foreign news editor for the London Times. He is a great reservoir of information of what's happening on the continent. He also has an interest in crime news. Ellis is always happy to help when he can, but you must be careful of what you tell him, or you might find what you've confided to him in the next day's Times.
Okay, so he's not 100% on the level.
This is a record.
Yeah, he does seem like a bit of a fruitcake, doesn't he?
marriages, deaths, and last wills and testaments.
To put it in a generous way.
Quentin Hogg is a crime reporter for the Police Gazette. He is an ex-police inspector who found the environment of Scotland Yard less than stimulating. He has a strong deductive mind and is a very good resource. Porky is not a pillar of society, I dare say, but he is a man who has learned from his mistakes and is trying to start a new life. Although he is no longer in prison, he is still behind bars, or shall I say, a bar.
Jolly good one, Holmes.
Yes, Watson. Well, the bar in question is the Raven and Rat Inn. Porky is the proprietor. He has been of great help to us in the past, and I expect he will continue to be in the future. Ah, Scotland Yard. If the Yard knew how to examine evidence with any skill, there would be no need for our services. Inspector Lestrade is
What's your favourite, like, Sherlock Holmes
but it is
media?
true they may be a source of valuable information.
Television.
After all, the professional police have methods for gathering
could be
facts
books,
that are not
could be a
open to us.
movie, you know, just anything that you like Sherlock-wise.
Well, I liked him in that Deadpool comic book.
Remind me?
Deadpool Illustrated, when he goes around killing classic characters of characters from stories. Like, Don Quixote and Captain Ahab. Sherlock Holmes managed to stop him.
Huh.
He tried to get away in the time machine from the story The Time Machine, and Sherlock rushes in, punching
the titular time machine.
Edward Hall is a young barrister whom you will find on most days at the Old Bailey. He's a cut above the other unimaginative members of his profession.
Holmes, don't you think you should explain to them the difference between a barrister and a solicitor?
Yes, of course, Watson. A solicitor handles the routine legal business of our society. If you do not have to go before a court, you will have no need for a barrister. If you must go before a court, then your solicitor would engage the services of a barrister.
Part of me would be interested to see Deadpool in the MCU, so we could see Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe, but I suspect that won't happen.
Head clerk Disraeli O'Brien is your contact in the Office of Records. The Office of Records contains legal records, both criminal and civil, as well as state papers. I think you'll find O'Brien to be a walking, or should I say sitting encyclopedia of the office's affairs.
Wolverine getting his head cut off.
Ooh, yeah.
Magneto getting melted in acid.
Bloody heck, poor Magneto.
Oh, and then there was the bit where Thor attacked him, and Deadpool used the Pym particles to enlarge Mjolnir so it became too heavy for Thor to wield.
And then he just sort of folded.
He got crushed under his own hammer.
Now here is a person who usually gets in the last word.
Thor.
Langdale Pike is a human reference work on social scandal, especially on the London scene. He contributes bits of gossip to the garbage papers that cater to an inquisitive public.
Paparazzi, then.
If I can't find something in my own files, I go and examine the overflowing shelves of the great London Library. It is a wealth of information. This gentleman is the head chemist at Scotland Yard Criminology Laboratory. It is rumoured that Murray lives in the lab. He is eternally bent over one of his tables trying to extract the history of a crime from the physical evidence he's been given. Sir Jasper is the chief medical examiner for St. Bartholomew's Hospital. He is London's greatest forensic pathologist. You can depend on him for all the technical details that can be obtained from any corpse whose cause of death is in question.
Well, we should be nice to him, for he shall inherit the earth.
We'll be nice to them if they be nice to us.
I think you'll find these tools to be positively invaluable as you endeavour to help Holmes solve these cases.
Newspaper should be your first stop when starting a case. Simply choose one of the papers and look for relevant names and locations in the articles. You can scroll each column up and down.
That seems quite simple to me.
Sounds like something could take a while as well.
Yeah. bother to make of it.
I certainly hope I'm able to fall back on this while I'm playing the game. I suppose if I was a detective, I'd probably have to keep a newspaper handy to be aware of current events.
Yeah, that's true. Like, otherwise, you know, you're just not knowing what's going on. Excuse me.
As long as I don't have to read these myself. The video scenes. The judge.
What right to judge you?
Well, I've been in murder mysteries, so I suppose I could be a sleuth. I mean, that's what we call ourselves, murder sleuths.
Yeah. Yeah, you'd be a good one, actually.
You think so?
Yeah, you're nosy. Nah, kidding you. No, but you would be good. Because you're good at figuring things out. For the sake of peace.
Actually, I won't pretend I didn't hear that, Seb. I will, in fact, forgive, but not forget.
Haha. You can be vengeful.
Within a lantern-sitting room at 221B Baker Street, Sherlock Holmes slowly takes a pull from his pipe, while Dr. Watson, reclining after a bit of tea, pursues a discarded copy of the London Times.
What rubbish! What balderdash!
You must have read something terribly disturbing, Watson, for you to be so overwrought this early in the morning.
Indeed, Holmes. It's irresponsible of the Times to play upon people's superstitions.
Ah, you must be referring to the affair of the mummy's curse.
The entire city in an uproar. 3 men dead, and they expect us to believe that the 4,000-year-old mummy was the murderer.
Video scene.
I'm surprised you haven't taken some interest in this case, Holmes.
To the contrary, my dear Watson. I have made some inquiries. Because I dare say I do believe this murderer is a much younger chap.
Sorry, what were you saying?
I was just saying, I think he's quite a believable Watson. I quite like him.
As do I. Now then, let's see that again.
What rubbish! What balderdash!
You must have read something terribly disturbing, Watson, for you to be so overwrought this early in the morning.
Indeed, Holmes. It's irresponsible of the Times to play upon people's superstitions.
Ah, you must be referring to the affair of the mummy's curse.
Has the entire city in an uproar. 3 men dead, and they expect us to believe that the 4,000-year-old mummy was the murderer. I'm surprised you haven't taken some interest in this case, Holmes.
To the contrary, my dear Watson. I have made some inquiries. Because I dare say I do believe this murderer is a much younger chap.
Okay. Where to now? Well, I didn't see anything else to do with an exit. There we go.
In the words of Phoenix Knights, excite.
Newspaper's always a good place to start, it said.
Yeah, I think so. Start spreading the news.
If you'd like to have a bit of a read of this.
Okay, on the first instance, as she and her stockyard wife, Captain Curtis, son, deaths. There's a lot to go into, I wouldn't know where to begin, honestly.
So, where's Ollie?
I mean, what?
Where's Ollie when you need him? He loves this sort of thing.
Yeah, he's pretty genius, isn't he?
Can be.
Yeah, best not to inflate his ego and...
Well, it's already gone live now that you've said that, so there you go.
I fucked up, didn't I?
Please don't swear.
Okay, I mucked up. You know what I mean, Mo.
No, I don't. I very rarely know what you mean. Most of the stuff you say can be constituted as nonsensical.
I think that's a bit harsh.
Wow, the C-3PO thing, Seb.
Yeah, but people love that.
Moving on, I think.
They do love it. They're like, yeah, that's brilliant.
Each edition of the Times may contain pertinent clues to your case. Since the paper has more information in it than can possibly fit on the screen, simply scroll through the articles and read at your leisure. The Xbox closes the paper.
Is it what? They've got an Xbox?
Yes, it's there.
Didn't know I had time for video games, considering...
Well, they sometimes tend to have... There can be months between cases sometimes. I remember Constable Habib from the Thin Blue Line thought they perpetuated in homosexual relations.
That's a good show.
Yes, though I don't agree with her statement at all.
Well, no, it's obviously a joke.
Yes, a bad one. A little lost and confused on this.
Yeah, it's a lot more complicated than I thought it would be. Gotta be said. Not necessarily a bad thing.
I wonder if people would think less of me if I found some guide on the internet.
Not at all! You know, you gotta do what you gotta do to have a good time.
I wonder
Also, you don't have to take your clothes off to have a good time. Oh no.
Let me put it this another way. Do you think anyone would think less of me if you searched for a guide on the internet?
Oh, I see what you're getting at there. Oh, very devious.
I mean, I didn't necessarily ask you to, did I?
No, you didn't. Ho ho ho. Okay, so the name of the game is... Oh wait, someone just said, hey mate, what did I miss? Ever listen to Roy Hudd's Sherlock Holmes parody series?
I wouldn't exactly call it parody series. Oh, hello.
Yeah, you got a comment.
This chap was at Alcon.
Oh, well, nice to meet you, Albaraj Ranger. I was at Alcon too, I was the Cornflakes and Monculus there.
Yes. Yes, played a few decent board games on Saturday, if you were wondering.
Oh yeah. Well, what did you play, Jack? Tell me what you played.
I don't quite remember the names of the games, I just know that I won the first one. And the last one I kind of lost a bit of interest because I was doing that badly.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, we don't like to admit it, but, you know, when we're not doing too well, you do kind of lose interest, don't you?
The nerf table, I keep... The idea of getting and trying to get another magazine for my Nerf gun keeps crossing my mind. It's just I keep thinking of saving money.
I know what you mean. It's difficult to nerf on a budget.
I mean, I want to go to more cons.
You should. You know, embrace life and go to more cons.
Embrace Holmes' life. What a novel idea.
Hey.
I couldn't make it. Had to go to work until nearly 8 p.m.
Yeah. Oh well, that's life. That's what all the people say. Well, not all of the people, just some of them. It's just some of them.
Well, it's good that you got to work.
Yeah, because that's most important. Got to earn bucks. Money.
Have you found anything yet?
Not yet. What is the official name of the game, though?
Sherlock Holmes Consulting Detective, The Case of the Mummy's Curse.
Oh, The Case of the Mummy's Curse.
I am not encouraging Seb in any way to cheat in this game. But I'm more than happy
okay,
to...
I've got a bit of a walkthrough.
But if that's what he wants to do of his own volition, I will answer his questions and cooperate.
Philip Travis was responsible for the murders.
I wouldn't say that out loud.
What? You wanted me to find out for you? So I did it. You're like, oh, tell me how it ends, Seb.
I didn't say tell me how it ends.
You did, you liar.
I said find a guide so that I know what to do.
Sorry. Well, you know what to do now. You know it's a guy. Then again, it didn't ruin Columbo, did it? You know, it didn't ruin Columbo.
Well, I suppose now the next move should probably be to try and prove that it was whoever you just said it was.
I know, it was Prince Philip or something like that. Philip Patan. I can't remember. I'm cheating and I don't even remember the cheat.
Same. Dr. Watson learns from the Times that a mummy is supposedly responsible for 3 men's deaths. He does not reveal the names, but they are certainly listed in the articles. Tap the button to get a hint from Watson.
Well, you can narrow it down at least.
An article in the newspaper from August 17th, 1888 mentions an excavation and the names of 3 men. Note the location of the 5 lecture. 5 points. An article in the newspaper from Tuesday, March 5th, 1889 mentions the strangulation of Ebenezer Turnbull. There were ancient linens about his neck. Are those strong enough to do the deed?
Lines, I see.
Linens.
Oh, linens. Oh, I thought it mistranslated lines.
No, because lines doesn't have an N between the S and the E. I mean, that's how spelling. No. That's how spelling works.
Could have been
you see, lines are spelled L-I-N-E-S, not L-I-N-E-N-S.
I don't know.
Linings is spelled in that affirmate way.
When was the last time you've ever seen me develop a game?
Fortunately, never.
Exactly. So I'm no expert. I don't know what's what these days.
Clearly. An article in
the world is changing.
An article in the newspaper from April 12th, 1889 mentions 2 additional murders. One is aboard a ship and the other at the British Museum. Note other names mentioned there. 5 points.
There's your problem. You've got an old newspaper. You know, you should get a newer newspaper.
Well, one will probably come out the following week. But as it happens, how many people could be dead by then?
I don't know, too many?
Take a few minutes to check Holmes' files about the men who were murdered, and if there is anything sufficient written there, look at names and places.
When you say places, you don't mean flatfish, you mean locations.
Using the using Watson's hints makes me feel like he's the one solving this murder when I should be doing it.
Yeah, well, he deserves his moment in the spotlight, doesn't he?
Perhaps, but the object of the exercise is for...
What, you to do it?
Yeah.
Just funny it comes to this.
Thinking perhaps the museum might be a good place to go. If I can.
If you can.
National Gallery, Superior Art Museum with the finest collection of Flemish and Dutch paintings located on Trafalgar Square.
Yeah, they're really being a bit superior about it, saying that it's a superior museum.
I do hope people don't think I'm taking too long with this. It's just that this is a very, very intricate amount of thinking.
Oh, trust me, we understand. You know, it is, you're right, and it's not easy.
Still, it would be nice to have a guide so that I know where I was going.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
I suppose the British Museum could be a good place to start.
Sounds it.
But who do I send?
No, I honestly wish I was more help to you.
No, you can't. Perhaps we should just go see about the body.
I think that would be an idea. I mean, will there be any clues on the body, do you think? Presumably they'll...
You can always hit it with a riding crop.
That sounds fun.
But could I have a word with you, Sir
that
Jasper?
makes me sound
Dr.
sadistic,
Watson, of course. Are you investigating the death of Samuel Sneed? I just finished with him.
No, we're interested in James Windibank.
Ah, the mummy's latest victim, of course. Who hired Holmes for this one? King Tut?
Oh, that's a jolly good one. Actually, we don't have a client on this one.
Just for fun, eh? Well, about the only thing I can tell you is that mummy has very powerful hands.
What do you mean?
The trachea was crushed along with one of the vertebrae of the neck. Death was instantaneous. Snap.
But the papers' reports say that there were mummy wrappings found round the neck.
Just window dressing. Without question, it was bare hands. The bruises and the way that the vertebrae was crushed leave no doubt about that.
Thank you very much for your time, Sir Jasper. We're very much appreciative.
Not at all, Watson. You will let me know when you've convicted the mummy.
Beg your pardon?
Well, so I can perform an autopsy on him. Would be most fascinating, don't you think?
That's assuming it is a mummified corpse, my friend. Okay, information about the body, we have that. Let's see. Can never be sure if I've just got if all I've managed to do is get... I can never be sure if there's some kind of time limit. Sir Jasper told Watson that he is quite certain that linens did not kill the English gentleman. Strong hands crushed the man's windpipes. Scathing letter to the editor in the newspaper from February 6, 1888 is written by a man with a curious title. Sound familiar?
I mean, that's a newspaper mentioned supporters eliminate suspects.
It's important to eliminate suspects from the excavation. The ship and the murder in London. Perhaps send someone other than the detectives to get information. Suppose it couldn't hurt.
Oh, I don't think it could.
I've completely forgotten where I'm sending them. It's important to eliminate suspects from the excavation. Where do I send them to? I suppose the shipping.
Question.
Since it doesn't look like I can do any of those things, I think I'll just think of something else. Field works for the Egyptology department, Watson sends a few of the more well-mannered boys to consult with the chairman at the university. You want us to go nosing around a university? Places like that give us the creeps, they do. So that's a no then?
I suppose it's a no.
Watson states the obvious when he recommends a trip to the Egypt.
Such a tragedy. Fine men all and such outstanding scholars. I still can't quite get over the shock of it.
We understand.
Professor, we're looking for background information on these three men so that we can understand how their murders might tie together.
Well, let me begin with Dr. Turnbull. Ebenezer Turnbull was responsible for organizing the Carteret expedition. Quite a remarkable man, really. This was the first time he teamed up with James Windibank. Professor Windibank was one of our most popular lecturers. In fact, several of his former students were also eager to accompany him. I recall him saying that he was having difficulty choosing. Weatherby turned out to be the lucky one. Though it seems far from it now, doesn't it? I suppose Smith and Travis turned out to be the lucky ones after all.
Smith and Travis?
Peter Smith accepted the invitation to join another expedition. As for Philip Travis, he was quite keen on accompanying Professor Windibank. In fact, he became exceedingly upset when Andrew Weatherby, a postgraduate student in the department, was chosen instead. Took it rather personally,
you had
I
a
should
question.
say.
Ever watched the map through a Sherlock Holmes TV movies by Hallmark Canada?
No, I have not done that, I'm afraid. Should I have?
Well, assumably if it's of interest.
appear to be
Where
playing...
can it be found? Is it on Netflix or?
You appear to be playing another game, Seb. Are you bored?
Oh no, it's just there's only so much I can do from here. It's not exactly multiplayer.
Can be. Well, I suppose it's difficult.
I mean, I'm reading the papers, and if anything comes out and hits me, then I'll. Benjamin Disraeli. Wait a minute. Wait, is that like the? Would he have been Prime Minister at that point? I think he would have been.
All potential answers and hints are more than welcome. In the comments, please.
Well, maybe the Prime Minister did it.
What an idea.
Let's see, any other names? Herbert Jackson, Ivory Simon, Ivy Plant Pub. That's an odd name. Oh, it's a place. Let's see.
Let's check out this.
It hasn't been called that.
Finally, Tipper says, after Dr. Watson asks the irregular to visit the home of the murdered gentleman, with a shilling in hand, the lad runs out and disappears into the fog. The lady was nice enough. She looked about with like someone was going to jump out of the bushes, she did.
You do the voice as well, I'll give you that.
Thank you. After reading an article in the Times, Holmes hurries Watson into a carriage, believing that time is of the essence as they head over to the shipping company.
Here is a passenger list you requested, sir.
So we have a passenger list now.
And they
Here is
ride
a
and they
passenger
ride
list
and
you
they
requested,
ride.
sir.
And the passenger.
Jardine Maitland Co. Steamship Company.
Found one of them, sent it via Discord. Okay, so you've been sent an episode of something to watch, Jack.
Okay. That'll give me some entertainment.
That's entertaining.
How can I see that list?
I'm sure that I saw something about the shipping company. I mean, perhaps that's just a red herring, but...
Well, I've already been... I may have already been there.
Ah, so that's probably why I recognised it. Minutes.
Keep thinking I'm going to overlook something any second. You alright?
Yeah, just still haven't shaken this cough.
Watson simply shakes his head and keeps walking when Holmes...
What's Holmes doing, Jack?
fictitiously asks what financial motive the killer or mummy, for that matter, would have in this case.
This seemed to be a dead end. No one had any information that could help us solve this case.
Perhaps a regular may find something out, find something I missed.
Yeah, apparently, this TV movie, Jack, they made 4 of them. One's original story, the other 3 were adaptations that included Hound of the Baskervilles.
Maybe I'm looking at the wrong. Maybe I'm looking at the wrong times.
It's a possibility.
My memory also good.
Ah.
It's quite amusing, all this hoopla over a mummy's curse, I must say. Not so amusing, of course, the murder of 3 Englishmen.
Have any of your reporters uncovered anything new?
Actually, I've been in Paris the past several weeks. Just returned to London on Tuesday. I've had no involvement with the writing of any of these articles. I believe they are all the work of Philip Travis. He's one of our young reporters. For a short time, he was the Egyptian correspondent.
Was he sacked?
No. He returned to London just a few days ago. I gather he was reassigned to cover the case from here because he had some familiarity with a murder in Egypt.
Do you know Travis?
No, never actually met the chap, although I hear he's a bit of an odd duck.
Thanks for your help, Henry.
Anytime. Let me know when you catch the mummy. That's one scoop I'd like to get.
If he were an odd duck, his name would be Howard.
That's a good reference. What would you say your favourite sort of cameo in any of the Marvel movies was?
Stan Lee's.
Just all of them?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't beat those, can you?
No. Especially since the next film's going to be his last.
Ah, of course, yeah. Although, what a movie to go out on.
Yeah.
Ah, it was fantastic though, wasn't it?
Some weird chanting. What's this Philip Travis into, I wonder?
Don't know. Just makes me think of the singer Travis.
I do hope this.
So you've been reading my articles in the Times. I'm honored. What do you think of them?
Quite interesting. You've clearly been following the murders quite closely. Who do you suspect?
I believe it is the work of the ancient Egyptian god Pumatef.
It'd be a bit
and his
cool if it
goddess
was.
Neith.
You gotta get
Be
take
serious.
time out.
I
to
couldn't
think.
be more serious. You see, Mr. Holmes, although I am a journalist,
Oh, no, just
I was actually
expressing
trained as an
opinion, but I think
Egyptologist.
that'd be a bit cool.
I know all about these mysteries. That's why my articles carry the force of truth.
And what is the truth, Mr. Travis?
The truth is that the Egyptians discovered the secret of life. What we call science is mere child's play compared to the knowledge they had. Look at this. Do you know what this is?
It appears to be a mummified animal of some sort. A monkey, perhaps?
Precisely.
Write a conversation piece.
I've been using it in some very important experiments which, if successful, will unlock the secret to bringing back the souls of the dead. I've been working on it, Mr. Holmes, using these tanner leaves. Watch. Uma Lotus. Lecantina.
Oh. So what? It's just in the game.
Was something supposed to happen?
It appears that the soul of this particular
idea.
monkey has no intention of making a reappearance.
It's only a matter of time. I know it is. After all, these secrets have been buried for thousands of years. These things don't happen overnight. But it will happen someday. This is my mission.
I believe I'll leave you to your work, Mr. Travis.
Don't go yet. But let me show you more.
Thank you. Some other time, perhaps.
Perhaps. Cuckoo, wouldn't you say?
Seems pretty cuckoo to me.
I don't think so. I don't think he is rather odd, Ranger. I'm sorry, I'm forgetting your first name again. Is it Lee?
Is this voice of Brian going for Pinky Brain?
Brain.
Like, oh, hello!
Brain.
Yeah, I recognised it.
You see, he said brain is spelled B-R-A-I-N. Brian is spelled B-R-I-A-N. You see how that works? How the I goes in the other...
Well, there wasn't a character called Brian in Pinky and the Brain, was there?
No, it was Brain because people thought it was Brian because they were getting his name mixed up, presumably as some sort of gimmick. Kind of like the gimmick which you just bumped into there by mistaking Brain for Brian.
Oh no, you mistook Brain for Brian because you said Brian.
No, I said Brain.
What? I'm confused.
Of course you are. Okay, where to next?
The Life of Brain.
I wonder if that P. Travers probably wanted to... Holmes talked with Philip Travers, and discovers that the journalist believes Egyptian deities killed the Englishman. Much to Holmes's chagrin, the man attempts to raise the spirit of a monkey.
That's funny.
Well, I already talked to him. Find out if anyone hold a... Maybe we should find out who might have held a grudge, perhaps.
I think that'd be a good start.
I wouldn't say start, because a little past start points.
Well, I mean a good start on the direction with which we are heading now. You know what I mean?
No, I don't, actually.
Well, I know what I mean. That's good enough for me. I think I do, anyway.
Let me tell you, a murder, even by a 4,000-year-old mummy, was only one odd thing in a string of bad luck on this voyage.
What sort of bad luck?
All started with the crew, really. Seamen were a rather superstitious lot to begin with, and the idea carrying about a 4,000-year-old mummy had them shivering in their timbers. We almost faced a bloody mutiny. Then there were the passengers, a strange lot. I can tell you that reporter fellow, Travis, did us no service at all with his mystic mumbo-jumbo. He and Professor Winterbank had a regular war of words going on about whatever powers this mummy was supposed to have. And there was the two Arabs.
Arabs? Interesting. Do you recall their names?
I should hope I do. One was called Barmy. He always carried around this curious little box. No clue what was in it, but Barmy never let it out of his sight. The other one's name was Al Sard, and he spent most of his time lurking about watching Barmy. My guess is he wanted that box.
Sounds like you had your hands full.
I haven't even told you about the fight yet between Mr. Weatherby and Mr. Arubaru.
Over what?
Weatherby's wife, I'd say, though they were a tight-lipped lot about it.
I see.
I'm illustrations
Tell me, Lieutenant,
of this.
we understand that you were the first person to discover the body.
Yes, sir, I was. Captain Ramsey
That's
sent me
what
down to
Rod
inspect the
Rangers
hold.
said.
I went immediately over to them Egyptian crates. Professor Winterbank was particularly anxious about him, you know.
Could you describe the scene as you remember it?
I'll never forget it. I just made my way to the back of the hold, and I noticed at the top of them crates, the one what carried the mummy's coffin was raised up kind of funny like. The coffin lid was laid off to one side, and there was Mr. Weatherby all sprawled on the floor next to a bowl of ashes.
Have you worked anything out from this?
Been
Have you played this
strangled
before, Rab?
by a length of the mummy's sheet.
There you go, there's a source of information for
Bloody
you.
gruesome, I tell you. Poor bloke's eyes popped out like a couple of sausages on a hot iron skillet.
Quite a vivid picture, don't you agree, Holmes?
Quite. And you reported this to Captain Ramsey straight away?
Absolutely. In fact, the captain put me in charge of the entire investigation.
And what did you discover? Did anybody have any contact with Weatherby on the night of the murder?
Not that I know of. I could account for all the crew. The passengers were in their cabins as far as anyone knew or would say. Nobody saw anything, heard anything, or knew anything. Besides, Weatherby was seasick from the beginning. He stayed pretty much in his cabin all the time. Maybe that's why the lovely young Mrs. Weatherby was gallivanting about.
With Uruburu?
Yes, indeed.
And what of the bowl? Where is it now?
Bowl?
With the ashes.
Oh, yes. You know, now that you mention it, I don't recall ever seeing it again.
Interesting.
Most interesting. Excuse me.
Well, I've spoken to someone who knew one of the victims.
That's better than what we've had before, isn't it?
Sector visited Luther Teeny and learned that Travis and Willerbank were constantly arguing, and Winterbank got in a fight with Mr. Urubaru. Other information concerned a bowl found in Winterbank's body and 2 suspicious Arabs.
2 suspicious what? Oh, Arabs.
That's what it says.
I was gonna say, that threw me off for a second. So we're looking for people, presumably from the Middle East.
Maybe. Check the newspapers. Herman Ramsey was listed as the captain of the ship where Witherby was murdered. Might he know something? Hang on, what are we looking for?
Well, if you don't know, then I don't know.
Herman Ramsey. If you see that in the newspapers, let me know.
I will do. Herman Ramsey makes me think of a cross between Herman Goering and Gordon Ramsay. Give me back my effing Air Force!
I'm looking for it as well, but I might miss something.
I don't see the name Ramsey anywhere yet. So what, we're looking for Ramsey Bolton?
No, we're looking for Herman
I'm
Ramsey.
joking. Yeah, Herman Ramsey. I'm not going to forget that anytime soon.
You seen anything yet?
Not about Herman Ramsey, no. Something about the dead archaeologist, which we're already looking into.
Yes, or something.
Or something.
Nothing on that side. Huh.
Found anything?
No.
Sounded intrigued for a second, that's all.
Sounded intrigued that I didn't find anything.
Oh, okay.
I would have thought the hint would have paid off a bit better.
I thought so too. Just looking for him to find Herman Ramsey.
That's different, I think.
You think?
Come on, you gotta be here somewhere.
Okay, more info. I found the IMDb for this game. Only 3 cast members are listed. Holmes, Watson, and a character played by one of the cast members of Mystery Science Theatre 3000.
Okay. Excellent.
That's a bit random, isn't it?
Yeah. Quite.
You sound irritated.
Wouldn't say irritated. Probably
Hmm.
tired.
Well, get some rest after the stream, you know, you've been working hard.
Yes.
I say the stream counts as hard work.
I would if I was getting paid for it. Was it Herman Ramsey or Herbert Ramsey?
Herman, because
Yeah.
I remember making a joke about Herman Goring.
Yeah. Yes, I knew it was Herman as well. I just thought I'd try and confuse you. You'd be surprised the number of times that trick works.
What, where you change it and I don't realise?
Other people, mostly.
Hey, I'm not other people.
Clearly. I can certainly say, Seb, you are in your own little way unique.
Yep, there ain't no more like me.
Something to be thankful for. Sorry, did I say that out loud?
Yeah, you did, Jack.
Sorry.
You're not.
No, I am.
Ah.
You'll know when I'm BSing you, Seb.
I will. To be fair, you don't BS me very often.
No, I don't really get often much reason to.
Oh, well, I'll take that as a good thing, you know, sincerity and all that.
Yes. There was to be any information about Herman Ramsey, I'm not seeing it.
Yeah, I don't suppose that could have been a red herring.
Why would Watson give me a red herring?
I have returned.
You have
Oh, hello,
returned.
Ollie. Return of the Ollie.
Yeah.
We're looking for Herman Goring.
Ramsey.
Ramsey Bolton, sorry.
Looking for. Well, you'll probably find him. Like, I mean, are you actually looking for Ewan Rion, or?
Yeah, well, I think so. I presume so. That's what I imagine in my head now.
I'm looking for Herman Ramsey in the newspaper. Ah, hang on a minute. Just found
I
it.
thought you were going to say in the news then.
The shipboard investigation was handled by Captain Herman Ramsey and his first officer Luther Tenney.
I didn't picture him as a captain, gotta be said. You know, that's no slur to him, but it's just... It doesn't
Okay.
seem like a very captain-y name.
Now I found him. Now what, Watson?
Get your evidence.
Herman Ramsey was the captain of... Would he know something since he was on that ship? Trying to solve a murder, Ollie.
Yeah. How is it so far?
Dreadful.
Game or progress?
Progress. Or at least I don't know. After pursuing the Times, Holmes is convinced Mr. Ramsey has information valuable to the case. He gathers his coat and hat and catches the carriage to the home of the man.
We had just come through a rather grueling storm, so I sent my first officer, Luther Tenney, down into the hold to check on the condition of the cargo.
I'm going to be multitasking if you
Reported
don't
back
mind.
post-haste that
I wanna
Mr. Weatherby
finish
was lying
tomorrow's
dead
video
among the
before
Egyptian
tomorrow.
artifacts we were transporting.
Well, that'd be a good time to finish tomorrow's video.
Could you repeat that, please, Ollie?
I said I'm going to be multitasking if you don't mind. I want to finish making tomorrow's video before tomorrow.
I can see that.
Tomorrow's video is today.
Tomorrow's news today. Just so.
Turned over the helm to Tenny.
That was a good point.
We're down
And
to
went below
number
to have a
3
look for
in
my...
my countdown.
And it's the final one.
Well, yeah. I mean, if I say it, it's right. So, that...
Exactly. You know, because that's how having an opinion works.
Did you get the Europe reference there, Ollie?
Yes, I did.
Number of times I sang that song every time I played Final Countdown while playing Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's a hell of a card.
20 turns and then you win the duel.
What's your favourite sort of like special win card? Is it that, or would you say that it's the final card, or I suppose Exodia is everyone's favourite?
I'd say my special win card is Blue Eyes Chaos Max Dragon, which I used to wipe you out when you were playing with Lightsworn cards. Remember that, Seb?
Oh god, yeah, that was broken. That can't be Tournament League anymore.
Actually,
I don't think that's a special win card though. Like, I think he means a card that's effective if you play it successfully, you win.
Precisely.
I know what he means.
So in other words, its effect is you automatically win the game.
I know what he means as well, Ollie. I just find the idea of a monster with 4,000 attack points that doubles its battle damage when you attack a monster in defense mode to be somewhat appealing.
Yeah. I think there was a card. I don't know if it was ever put into circulation or what, but maybe in a game or something. But I heard of a card like some sort of a 4th Egyptian god card that if you summon it, you win, but you can only summon it by tributing all 3 of the Egyptian god cards that we do know about.
That sounds like the kind of card that someone would try and BS you about.
Creator of Light, Ollie.
Like
it's available. It's available in the Yu-Gi-Oh game that that me and Seb played the Lightsworn deck with. So yeah. It exists.
So it does exist.
Yes, it does. It was that.
Praise be to that.
It was the thing they summoned in the very last episode of the Yu-Gi-Oh series when they defeated Zork.
So the only way you can summon it is by tribute summoning all 3 Egyptian gods.
Yes.
Which are bloody difficult to get on the field in the first place.
You know, it's not the greatest card in the world, it's just a tribute.
Yes, can I get on with this clue, please?
No.
Ollie, can I get on with this clue, please, and ignore Seb?
I like how you turn to Ollie like he's the nice parent.
I don't know, can you?
I can if I just click resume, but there won't be any point if you two are going to keep talking. Please talk not while the FMB stuff is on.
Didn't
you see confirmed Teddy's report?
Alright, let's see where this goes.
Unfortunately, yes. Weatherby was lying next to that coffin, or whatever it's called, apparently strangled. I went back to the bridge and put Tenny in charge of the investigation.
And what did he uncover?
Well, you'll have to ask him for the specifics, because I can scarcely recall the details.
Well, I did. Perhaps you'd like to shoot through my notebook, Ollie. See if you find anything intriguing.
Sounds like something funny from Death Note.
Let me know if you want me to scroll down.
Alright. Let's see.
I'm deeply curious if you learned anything from watching Sherlock.
Dr. Watson learns from the Times that a mutiny is supposedly responsible for 3 men's deaths. He does not reveal the names, but they are certainly listed in the articles. Sir Jasper told Watson that he is quite certain the Linens did not kill the English gentleman.
Yeah, Seb got that wrong as well just a moment ago.
Strong hands crushed the men's windpipes. 10 points. Sent
You said 10
irregulars.
points then.
Minus 10 points. No, that's what it says.
It's not minus, it's addition, so just ignore it.
Oh,
I've actually gained 10 points. So Jasper is the guy who works at the morgue.
Sent irregulars to London University. 10 points. The men talked with Lawrence Field at the London University. Mr. Field explains that Turnbull teamed up with the Windy Bank and...
Irregulars are my homeless network.
With Windybank and Weatherby for the Catebet expedition. Apparently, there were hard feelings from those who were left behind. 10 points. Sent to regulars to Turnbull, Ebenezer. 10 points. Holmes and Watson were provided a list of passengers from the Eastern Empress. Abdullah al-Saud, Akram Fahmy, Louise Fenwick, Merrill Fenwick,
Akram Fanny on it.
Anthony Uruburu, Andrew Weatherby, Clarissa Weatherby, and James Windybank.
Sorry,
10
but
points.
everybody has a funny name.
No, they
And
don't.
Abdul Amadallah
Abdul Hamadala.
visited Financial Times. 20 points.
I thought is this a journalism game?
Ignore the Financial Times, that was a dead end.
Holmes and Watson visited Henry
Only
Ellis.
because they wouldn't publish your stories, chat.
They learned that Ellis had been out of town and Philip Travis had been writing articles for the Times. 10 points. Sent regulars to Travis Phillips.
Seb is awesome, 10 points.
I don't see that anywhere.
Holmes sold
I'm making it up! I fabricated that.
Don't mess up the investigation, Seb. That's a criminal offence.
The journalist
Oh,
believes
honey, it was
Egyptian
messed
gods
up.
killed the Englishmen. Obvious tormentor. Much to Holmes' chagrin, the man attempts to raise the spirit of a monkey. 10 points.
Yeah, he didn't get 10 points for that because it didn't work.
This seems like a really surreal, I don't know, panel show, like, I'm sorry, I haven't a clue. A man
The
tries to
detectives
raise the
visited with
dead.
Luther Tenney and learned that Travis and Windybank were constantly arguing. And Windybank got in a fight with Mr. Uruburu.
Am I high?
Yes.
I'm high!
Possibly. Other
Sorry, it's not
It seems to happen when you get here, Ollie.
Other information concerned a bowl found near Windybank's body and 2 suspicious Arabs. 10 points.
Maybe it's you reading out the 10 points, Ollie.
Suspicious Arabs. Suspicious Arabs, 10 points.
He didn't laugh when I said it.
Holmes visited with Captain Ramsay of the Eastern Empress. The man admits to putting Mr. Luther Tenney in charge of investigating the death of James Windybank. 10 points.
Which I did.
Sounds like you're reading out the results of a really surreal game show.
Let's see what we can find about this A for Harmon. Farming, whatever his name is.
Yeah.
Famicom.
Missing to rise from the Thames as the men cross a bridge on their way to meet with Akram Farming, a handler of historical relics.
By the way, sorry for how much I'm laughing. I don't know why it's so funny. It just
Apparently
is.
so, Watson. Look.
Apparently I have that effect on me.
Everyone will assume the mummy has struck again.
Hardly a plausible assumption. This poor fellow has a knife in his back and not a scrap of sheeting about his neck.
Oh, very observant, Holmes.
By the way,
Ring up Scotland Yard. This case is
Yeah.
simple enough for them to solve.
I'm pasting
You've
a
solved
link
it already.
into the chat.
Elementary,
I
my
would be
dear Watson.
curious after we've done drinking games, or at some other point, to see what you would think of it.
Yeah, let's check it out.
Can we have a rule here whereby we don't talk during these FMB cutscenes and just save it till after? I mean, I don't mind you guys talking, really.
Oh, okay, yeah, sorry.
But I do want to solve this mystery and do need to know the clues.
Hello?
Yeah, apologies.
I mean, in case you haven't noticed, a man has just died.
Apparently so, Watson.
Oh, what ghastly business. Everyone will assume the mummy has struck again.
Hardly a plausible assumption. This poor fellow has a knife in his back and not a scrap of sheeting about his neck.
Sorry,
Oh, very
you just
observant,
tickled me,
Holmes.
Jack.
Ring up Scotland Yard. This case is simple enough for them to solve.
You've solved it already.
Elementary, my dear Watson.
He's not rolling his
Obviously,
eyes
it was
at
the
me,
butler.
is
Butler? What butler?
I can feel
Exactly
the eyes
my
rolling
point.
in his head.
A man as wealthy as Akram Farmy would always have a manservant about him. After the foul deed, this one obviously beat a hasty retreat.
Huh. The butler did it then. Tad obvious.
Was the butler the Herman Ramsey guy?
No. Herman Ramsey was the captain.
Ah. You just get those two mixed up.
Holmes and Watson visited Akron Farley and learned that he was murdered, a knife protruding from his back. 10 points. See, it doesn't work when I do it, Ollie.
Yeah, but you didn't say it with the same amount of panache.
In Bob We Trust, Why the Last Jedi?
What?
The video is called Why the Last Jedi is a
I
love
thought
letter
that
to
was
Star
in the
Wars
game.
fans.
Okay, I've got to give this a go.
Yeah, like I happen to generally agree that The Last Jedi is great, which means it is because I said it.
Yeah, and like we already established, that's how opinions work.
Where do I find a medical examiner?
Were you just singing Chariots of Fire then, Ollie?
No.
I thought it just said da 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 da.
I thought that was Take My Breath Away.
Oh, you were doing Take Your Breath Away.
No, I wasn't, but that was what you was it. I was.
Oh, you thought they were the same song?
Mr. Holmes.
No, that's what you were humming.
Mr. Holmes, meat tells us that mummy of
That's
yours
not
must have
something
been
anything.
strangled its victims with its bare hands.
Who with
Oh.
their hands?
It's a pun.
So where do I find a chemist?
Sorry, I've got the Soviet national anthem stuck in my head. I think I must be a sleeper agent or something.
I knew it.
What, I was a sleeper agent?
Yes. Al-Sawad Abdullah. Let's have a chat with him, shall we?
Indeed.
Sorry, Gov, no one's at home. He's not there. How convenient.
He was here, and he was smooching with my brother.
So that Al-Sawad isn't there.
Could have fooled me.
If you have read the pertinent articles in the papers, talked with your regulars, visited where the men worked or lectured, gotten the passenger list, and finally visited those people, you should have an idea of who killed these men.
It was him.
And lists probably might be the thing to look at, I suppose. Okay, we've tried to speak with Abdullah Al-Sawad, but he's not there. Akram Farmi is dead.
Damn you, Abdul.
Louise Fenwick, let's try speaking with her.
Yes, let's.
Do it.
Or we could send a member of our homeless network. What do you think?
Homeless network, did you say? Did I hear you right?
Those are the
Yes.
irregulars.
Yeah. His network of homeless people, his little birds, if you will.
Oh, yeah. So it's like Varys.
Yes, I've often thought if I was a spy master in Game of Thrones, I'd probably use a combination of homeless people, actors and actresses disguised as blind people so no one would know they were spies, and I would also take control of the
city watch so that I could take all the criminals and thieves off the streets and threaten them with a hanging if they didn't spy for me.
You should take control of the brothels. That's where people's lips are loosest.
I think it'd probably be... It depends whether or
You'd
not...
be too bashful, wouldn't you, Jack?
I wouldn't be there. I'd get my spies to do it.
Yeah, exactly. You'd be too bashful. You know, you wouldn't be able to look them in the eye.
What do you mean bashful?
You know, like you'd be all shy about it, like...
Well,
you know,
wouldn't. Moving swiftly on, do we go there ourselves or do we send in a
change
regular?
the subject.
Gents, I asked your opinion.
Send a regular. Sorry. Send a duel. I momentarily wasn't paying attention, sorry.
Oh, of course, they wouldn't talk to the irregulars. Never mind.
I'm sorry, but I don't know anything about the death of old... whatever his name was.
Andrew Weatherby.
Fact is, I only saw the gentleman once, just as we were boarding. And I'll tell you, I resented the first officers questioning us on the matter, and I resent your...
What would you say your favourite Game of
voyage
Thrones
was a
character is
disaster
anyway,
from
guys?
beginning to end. Our accommodations were positively abysmal. They wouldn't
I
even
know
let
it's
us
like a
bring
hell of a
Dickie into our
question,
cabin.
Dickie? Her high-strung, distasteful little mutt.
How can you say that, Merrill? You
Listen
know
to
Dickie
these
is a
people.
blue-blooded Yorkshire Terrier. Mumsy will be with you in just a moment, Dickie Keens.
What the...
He's a bit under the weather, you know. That's why we were only able to stay in Egypt for 2 weeks. Dickie was so disappointed. He so wanted to see the Sphinx.
Mr. Holmes is not interested in your incessant whining, Louis.
It was them. It was
No,
definitely them.
Now I whine, do I? There was a time you thought I had a lovely speaking voice.
It's the guy who looks like Michael
It's true,
Fabric
Mr.
and back so did it.
He once adored me.
No
I'm not saying it's because he
Oh,
looks
for
like
the
Michael
love of
Fabric,
God,
I'm
Louise,
just saying he does.
spare us your
Call me
blabbering.
Ronan the Accuser, because it was them.
Yeah, oh, that's brilliant. Oh, that's golden, Ollie. Well done there.
Why don't we just hang them for something anyway? I'm sure they're guilty of something, even if they're not this murder.
If they didn't do it, I'm
This
sure
just
they'd
feels
do
like
it somewhere.
Saddam Hussein logic there.
But I suspect this was probably a waste of time. They knew nothing about the murder.
They knew nothing, Jon Snow.
They knew nothing, period.
Ronan
Did you
the
just laugh
Accuser.
because you said
Ronan the Accuser. It was him.
it was him?
Okay, I've spoken to Philip Travis, Anthony...
Makes me think of Ronan Keating as well. Remember Ronan Keating?
Perhaps...
Matt, do you remember Ronan Keating? I'm not shutting up until you give me an answer.
What was the question?
Do you remember Ronan Keating?
I never knew the man, but I know of him.
Yeah,
Life
you remember
is a
him
roller coaster.
from his... What?
You know, life is a roller coaster.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that one. Sorry, I thought you said Love Roller Coaster. I was like, no, that's Aerosmith. That was Aerosmith, wasn't it? You know, roller coaster. Do you know what song I'm on about?
Roughly.
Roller coaster.
Alright.
Okay, let's have a chat with someone who directly knew the murdered victim then. The good doctor receives a telegram summoning him to the home. One of Holmes hails a carriage and proceeds
Oh, let's call him
to...
shit doctor.
If this is an inconvenient
Sorry, carry
time,
on.
perhaps I could come back, Mr. Uruburu.
I wouldn't hear of it. Just a bit of a hangover. I've weathered plenty worse than this.
Really?
I'm investigating the death of Andrew Weatherby. You were on the ship with him out of Cairo. Did you happen to make his acquaintance?
Weatherby, a most tedious fellow.
So tedious, one might want to do him in.
Don't be preposterous. In my condition, I couldn't have done anything of the sort.
what condition was
He
that?
doesn't look like an
And I thought
Uruburu.
you were a great detective.
No!
The first night out, a
Well,
few
what
of
did
us
you
threw a bit
imagine?
of a bash that went on until we docked in London.
I don't
Did
know, but it wasn't
Mrs.
that.
Weatherby attend
Yeah,
this
do you know what I
particular
What?
I
bash?
kind of imagined
She was the guest of honor,
Ananias,
you
but
might
doing
say.
a comedic character.
Yeah.
You cannot trifle with the Ouroboros. That's what I imagined.
Ananias, Ananias.
Ananias. Oh, I loved Ananias.
Andrew Weatherby.
The 10
is,
greatest Ananias betrayals.
Andrew Weatherby is dead. Clarissa Weatherby could be the next, and so is James Windybank, I believe.
Yeah.
Windybank. Oh, Clarice. Do you know he never actually said that?
Sorry, who never said what?
Hannibal never said hello, Clarice.
Oh.
Although he did in the second movie, just
I'm
not in the
very
first
sorry
one.
to
People think
intrude
he
on
said
you
it
in
the
your
first
moment
one,
of
he
grief.
didn't.
Oh, that's quite all right. You know, Andrew and I hadn't been married very long.
I think he said
Long
good
enough to know
morning,
if you had any
Clarice, but he
enemies?
didn't say hello, Clarice.
Andrew
And
was
it's one of
so
those things about the
unassuming.
Mandela
Everyone
effect.
liked him.
Including Mr. Uruburu?
What's your opinion on the Mandela effect?
I really loved my husband.
Is that
I'm
the
sure you
effect
did.
where people confuse Morgan Freeman for Nelson Mandela?
English toffee. My favourite.
No, you're not
Would you
far
like
off,
one?
Please.
actually. No, it's the thing where
Sorry.
people could have
You'll have to open
sworn
this yourself.
something happened.
I've
that
never
didn't.
been any good with
Like in
these
the
things.
80s, a lot of people thought Nelson Mandela died, but he didn't. They could have sworn they saw it on the news, though.
Holmes visited the Weatherby residence and questions Clarissa Weatherby
It's like
about
how
her
people-
husband and her relationship with Mr. Urubu. She only admits to loving her husband.
Yeah, but you know, you gotta have the Uruburu, haven't you? You gotta love the Uruburu.
I already spoke to him, Seb.
But yeah, you know, he's a son of a man. Sorry, I'm just being honest. I'm being honest here. I mean, anyone would, you know, turn for him, wouldn't they? Let's face it. He's the Uruburu, man. He's the Uruburu.
I'm about to have a conversation with Windybank's widow, so...
Yeah.
James was so
I
thrilled
say
when
that,
Dr.
like, please
Turnbull
be
invited him to join the expedition. He
So
felt he'd spent
kindly
his
shut
entire
the-
life reading books about archaeology, and now was finally getting an opportunity to go out into the field.
Brilliant.
Tell me, Mrs. Winterberg, when your husband returned, did he discuss the deaths of his colleagues?
Of course. James was extremely upset. I know he did not believe a curse to be responsible. My
Ask her if
husband
she's
is
seeing
a
anyone
man
yet.
of science.
Or is it too soon? Do you guys remember the Scottish Widows adverts?
Hope you guys have drawn up some conclusions.
I reckon it's Uruburu because he's got a funny name. And I don't trust people with funny names.
Funny. My dad said the same thing about you, Seb.
What, that he doesn't trust me because I've got a funny name?
No, he didn't. I'm
Did he
lying.
actually say that?
No,
Is
I-
it bad that I would have believed that?
No, I'm lying through my teeth.
I can't say that's sarcasm.
Killer of these men was aboard the Eastern Empress would have written an article in the paper that caused Ebenezer Turnbull, the Earl of Dowry, to write a scathing letter, felt cheated by those excavating the tomb and would have ties to the bandages. Spoiler, the next hint will give away the answers for the judge. After that, Holmes can help you piece together the clues.
I'll be back in a moment, guys.
Alright. Yeah, see you in a bit.
Could there be something valuable in this equation?
What you mean, like, of material value?
Something.
Ooh, good question. Latest shipping, foreign arrivals. Well, there's that guy who died of a concussion. Maybe he was murdered. Could be a red herring, but, you know, could not be. Just a thought. What do you reckon?
Not sure. What was in this mysterious box?
Well, 4 copies for Times, apparently.
Nothing is ever apparent, Seb. Windy Bank was carrying a box. Was it Windy Bank, actually? No, it was Farmy who was carrying the box, and he's dead, so we can't ask him. Seems I can replay this.
Anyone there? Mr. Farmy, are you at home?
Oh, so you should.
Apparently so,
the
Watson.
amount you're paying for it.
Oh, what ghastly business. Everyone will assume the mummy has struck again.
Hardly a
No, I'm sure
plausible
it's not an
assumption.
expensive
This
game,
poor
but
fellow
it's
has a
still
knife
money,
in his
isn't
back
it?
and not a scrap of sheeting about his neck.
How very observant, Holmes.
Ring up Scotland Yard. This case is simple enough for them to solve.
You've solved it already.
Elementary, my dear Watson. Obviously, it was the butler.
Butler? What butler?
Exactly my point. A man as wealthy as Akram Farmy would always have a manservant about him. After the foul deed, this one obviously beat a hasty retreat.
Hello,
Ollie.
I had to check tomorrow's video for quality.
Well, I could have told you it was shit. Sorry.
I didn't find any.
Well played. Well played.
I'm trying to find out if there was what was in that box that A. Farmy was carrying when he was on that expedition.
Honestly, I'm stumped.
Okay.
Did you say okay to yourself, like, okay, I've got to tolerate these guys?
What if?
Yeah, that wasn't why, but yes, I did.
It was in exasperation, wasn't it?
No, it was more sort of, okay.
No, so not like, oh, I've got to deal with some idiots, kind of okay. Got to deal with some imbeciles.
Why would I think that?
The Queen's court now stands in order.
Well, if the shoe fits.
How would you know?
Mr. Holmes,
Oh, sorry,
I
that was a
understand
low
you've been looking into the mummy murders.
That was a bit below the belt.
Tell me
It
then,
was.
who
What
was
were you,
Ebenezer
Hey,
Turnbull's
hey.
murderer?
Sorry.
Well, you wouldn't have felt it then, would you?
What was that from again?
Phoenix Knights.
Oh, yeah.
I think I'm resorting to guesswork here, but I suspect the one who murdered Ebenezer Turnbull was Windybank.
Well,
Terribly
Windybank sounds
sorry,
like a villain
gentlemen,
name,
that is
doesn't it?
not at all correct.
That's the logic I'm going by. Also, while I'm thinking about Windybank, I was going to ask Ollie something, but I can't remember what.
That's what I get for guesswork.
What's I going to ask you, Ollie? It was important, whatever.
Gentlemen, perhaps you'd like to read this last bit here?
Oh, let's see. If you medical season, Glasgow paper, Ebenezer Turnbull, the Earl of Downey, Robert Downey Jr., to write a scathing letter. Choose your bivos, excavating material, and would have ties for bandages. The next hint will give away the answers for the judge. After that, Holmes can help you piece together the clues. 5 points. Okay. You alright? That was a bit of a hiccup.
Yeah, I'm good.
That was a really strong hiccup. You could hiccup for the Olympics if that were a category. Didn't someone want you to enter the Special Olympics at one point?
My mum basically tells me that should be me every time it's on. And that I'm meant to be inspired. And I'm like, fuck off.
I know. It would make me cringe as well.
Earl of Dowry. Wonder where that comes into this.
Is his name actually Earl?
Probably. Do you think we should give up and go for the next spoiler?
I think it's going to have to be that way, isn't it?
What do you think, Ollie? You want to try and take a crack at this?
Crack.
Well, let's see.
Let's match up a little tail.
Clearance. If you have read the pertinent articles in the papers told to the regulars visited them and worked on should I? The killer of these men was aboard the Eastern Empress.
Apparently Ebenezer Turnbull wrote a scathing letter, but where do I find that?
Huh. Could you not go to the press office? I'm sure they'd have it.
Well, I don't necessarily need to, because I've got the Times right here.
Right.
Just trying to understand the rules of the game here.
Letters. Huh.
Huh?
To the editor of the Times, Sir, I feel I must write to formally register my outrage at the irresponsible handling by your paper of my recent discovery. Your reporter's insinuation that I lack the credential to unearth such antiquities is an utter affront. For your information, I am a world-renowned authority in my field. especially Egyptian studies, your reporter obviously has no appreciation for the significance of such a finding and has no understanding of archaeology. I demand a retraction post haste. The Earl of
Now,
Down.
that is somebody who has been wronged, so he could be a suspect.
He's not. He's Turnbull.
Oh, so he's just a guy.
He's the one who died.
Oh, bloody hell. Sorry to hear about that.
Oh, hang on a minute.
Hang on.
Crap, lost it. To the editor of the Times. Could see the Times about that.
Do you know how you read that? By pay-per-view.
Yeah. Pay-per-view.
Yeah, if you take it literally.
That's the joke.
Well, if you listen to the radio, it's statistically more likely that you'll hear songs with which you're already familiar.
That's an incredible fact.
Green's gone black for no reason.
Yeah, that's odd.
Nothing from the irregulars. Okay, searching the London Times was pointless.
I wouldn't say pointless.
Just for the fun of it, let's talk with Lestrade.
Well, well. If it isn't Mr. Sherlock Holmes, London's most overly praised amateur sleuth, needing the help of the Yard again.
You're going to stand for that, Holmes? Let's just see who proceeds to solve this case, Watson. Inspector Lestrade, my good man, I'm looking into the cause of James Windibank's death.
I should have known. That murder has brought out every crank in the city. I think the professional police can wrap this one up.
All the same, could you tell us what you've discovered to date?
One dead archaeologist, no suspect, no motive.
And what of Andrew Weatherby's death? Have you looked into that?
I have talked to Captain Ramsey, but we have no leads. Look, I'm not even sure that Weatherby's murder falls into our jurisdiction. And if it doesn't, you're not going to find me worrying about it. As it is, I have enough murders to take care of.
Yes, thank you, Lestrade. Very useful. I'm sure one day he will go from a great man to a good man.
Good old Lestrade.
And would have ties to the bandages. What do you think?
Well, what's your hunch?
My hunch, I suspect Windibank killed Turnbull because of
You're still stuck on this Windibank thing, aren't you?
Isn't Windibank dead?
Yes, I suspect that he was probably killed by Al Swad bloke who's no longer around.
So basically the dead man was killed by a dead man. Meaning that there's absolutely no chance of justice at the end of this.
Probably get to El Swad.
That's a downer.
Justice.
I loved that guy, he was great.
It exists, Ollie, even if it is just a word.
And justice, God's among us.
Well, it's a spoiler, but I feel I have no choice.
No, it's too much of a spoiler.
Oh, guess what I found in CEX for 50p?
Tell me.
The Hobbit PC game, the old CD-ROM.
Oh, bloody heck. Wow. That's impressive.
I had this when it was new, you know.
Wow.
I think they released it on the GameCube, but I'm not sure.
Hear ye, hear ye.
Yeah, I used to know, but now I'm
The Queen's
indecisive.
Court now stands in order.
I used to be indecisive, but now I'm not sure.
That's the joke. Sorry, I got it wrong way round.
Mr. Holmes,
I
I
fumbled
understand
that.
you've been looking into the mummy murders.
Yes, my lord.
Oh, I
Tell me
completely
then,
mucked that up.
who was Ebenezer Turnbull's murderer? And what makes you so certain? What was Travis' motive for killing Turnbull?
And in glow.
And what of Andrew Weatherby? Who murdered him?
Who murdered Andrew Weatherby?
Andrew Lloyd Webber.
Weatherby.
Oh, sorry, I completely skipped something then.
Yes, you did.
He never really topped Phantom of the Opera, did he?
Well, Phantom of the Opera was the most successful piece of entertainment out there until Grand Theft Auto 5 topped it.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the two that's like the most definitive thing ever, isn't it?
Well, no, Grand Theft Auto 5 is the single most profitable piece of media.
Oh, I thought you were making a joke. Sorry, I thought that was in jest.
No, straight up. Before that, I think it was Phantom of the Opera.
Did you just say the opera?
No, I said opera. That was just your subconscious bias.
Oh, sorry, I really wanted to hear that then.
He does.
Do you know
have
when you
that,
just really
doesn't
want
he?
to hear that? Phantom of the Opera suite?
Weatherby died on the boat, so the murderer must be one of the other passengers.
No, it would stand to reason, wouldn't it? Iggy Pop, you know, he is the passenger and he rides and he rides and he rides.
It could be El Sword, the one who's buggered off.
Well, what's he buggered off for? You know, he must be guilty of something.
Probably to avoid being caught.
Exactly. Ah, I'm thinking the same thoughts here.
Positively incorrect. I'm afraid you haven't done a good enough job of putting your brains
This is
to
like
the task.
Detective Pikachu if someone charismatic wasn't playing Pikachu.
Weatherby died on the boat.
Looking forward to that, by the way. Just what an idea, you know. Sorry, Ollie. I made you very heavily sigh then.
I think I might need to go. It's getting late. I'm sort of crashing.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I'm feeling the fatigue myself.
This thing can hurt your head, I'll grant you that.
Yeah.
So, Ollie,
Yeah, blame it on the thing.
Hey, Ollie, when do you want to try that share play thing?
At your earliest convenience when I'm free. You know.
Well, it's just I've only got 3 months.
We'll get it done by then.
I'd like to see you try your luck with Sephiroth.
Sephiroth!
What do you think?
It's gonna take some training, but why not? I'll see you guys soon.
Yeah.
Okay,
I mean,
Ollie.
it's annoying enough I can't get the puzzle pieces because I don't have the glide ability, and God knows I'm supposed to get that.
thought you
You have
meant
to
in Sherlock
level up
then.
your drive forms for movement abilities.
Yes, how do I do that?
Well, each one is different. The Valor form you level up by hitting. You level up by melee attacks. I think every melee attack you land is a point.
Sounds like my last relationship.
Yep. The magic one, I think every heartless that you kill is a point.
Again, sounds like my last relationship.
Yeah, I'll have to. I don't know. I'll Google it.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll see you guys later.
See you later.
Yeah, see you later.
Bye.
Bye.
I'm probably going to go before too long. If I may be excused. Ooh. What's the yawn? Any ideas, Jack? And in blood.
What did you learn, Watson?
Not a thing, Holmes.
You learned nothing?
Don't get testy, Holmes. There wasn't anyone about.
My humble apologies, Watson.
Well, I'm fairly certain this isn't a, this doesn't have a time limit to it.
Yeah, I think we would have been kicked by now if that was the case.
Yes. Where's this museum?
Dr. Turnbull, he was a strange one, he was. Hardly ever at home, always traipsing about a Lord knows where.
May I take a look at his things?
Oh, suit yourself. All he had is a big pile of books about Egyptian mummies and a few maps. He was a son of an earl, he was. Though you hardly tell from looking at him, poor fellow. Do you really think this mummy thing's what's done him in? Creepy, I says.
No luck finding the museum, I take it.
No.
Hear ye, hear ye. The Queen's Court now stands in order. Mr. Holmes, I understand you've been looking into the mummy murders.
Yes, my lord.
Tell me then, who was Ebenezer Turnbull's murderer?
We got this one right.
And what makes you so certain? What was Travis' motive for killing Turnbull? And what of Andrew Weatherby? Who murdered him?
I think it could be the same guy.
Yeah.
So, you say Travis killed Turnbull and Weatherby?
Yes, I believe he did, my lord.
But what was his motive to kill Weatherby, Mr. Holmes? Ah, revenge. The oldest motive in the book. Now, Mr. Holmes, who killed James Windibank?
I think I... Ooh, could it have been the same reason? Let's see.
This Travis seems
Well,
to be quite
walk
a
us
busy
through
fellow.
your
What made him kill James
reasoning.
Windibank?
Those two men were chosen for the expedition instead of him.
So he'd be jealous, and we already know that he's got that sort of a streak, don't we?
He killed one person on that for that reason, so...
Well,
stands to
you've
reason
done
he
an
could do another,
admirable
doesn't it?
job in resolving this mystery. I'd say you're on a par with just about any other armchair detective out there. I would suggest, however, that you rethink this case again, thereby improving your sleuthing skills.
My word, dear Holmes. Perhaps we are in the wrong business altogether. I think I will ring up the university immediately and see if we might enroll in a detective course.
Well, Watson, I believe this case is solved. And for your information, it was not the mummy.
Come, Holmes. I never thought for a moment it was the mummy.
Of course not, Watson. However, the murderer and the mummy did have one thing in common.
What's that?
They both were the only ones present at the time of the murders. Except, of course, the victims.
You state the obvious, Holmes.
Ah, but it is seeing the obvious that is important. First, I saw no reason to assume that we were dealing with more than one murderer. Secondly, the locations of the murders limited the number of suspects.
Limited them? The first murder was in Egypt, the second on ship in the middle of the sea, and the third in London. You call the entire populations of London and Egypt a limited number of suspects?
No, Watson. We had to find someone who was in Egypt for the first murder, on the ship for the second, and in London for the third.
Oh, but of course.
According to the newspapers, the Eastern Empress was in Bombay at the time of Ebenezer Turnbull's murder, so that eliminated the ship's crew as suspects. Thus, I needed the list of passengers who boarded the ship at Cairo. It was our visit to Jardine, Mason and Company that provided our first...
Any more thoughts on this, Jack?
From it, I learned that Philip Travis was a passenger.
Reading the
I then
Sherlock
learned that
solution
Travis
right now,
was the
sir.
chap who reported on the first murder. He became one suspect, but I had no motive. Clarissa Weatherby, who was also at the scene of the murder in Cairo, was another possible suspect, since she appears to have had a bit of a dalliance with Mr. Uruburu there on the high seas. So I had found her motive for the murder of Weatherby, but not a motive for the murder of the others.
Then whom did you eliminate?
Mrs. Weatherby. Her hands were not strong enough even to open a jar of English toffee, let alone strangle a grown man.
And what of Travis's motive?
It seems that Travis was a student in the Egyptology department at London University and had studied under James Windibank. He wanted very badly to be chosen as a member of the expedition, but Windibank turned him down. Instead, Weatherby was chosen and Travis was furious. So there you have the motive for two of the murders.
And what of his motive for the murder of Turnbull?
Evidently, Travis had written a vicious article questioning Dr. Turnbull's credentials to lead the expedition. Turnbull's response was quite harsh, probably powerful enough to drive an odd duck like Travis to murder.
Very impressive, Holmes.
Elementary, my dear Watson.
Well, it would have been nice if I could have reached that solution a bit sooner.
You satisfied by it?
A little. I mean, I got there in the end, didn't I? Not exactly quickly,
so.
but still got there. It would have been better if I could have done that full screen.
I know what you mean.
Well, first chance I get, I shall be trying another case sometime later on.
Let's know how it goes.
Feel free to join in with it, Sam.
I'll do.
I do need someone to watch things, you know.
I know.
Well, I hope you've had a happy Easter.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Hope you have.
Same here. And good day to everyone.
Yes, good day everybody. Goodbye.
Bye.